everybody, and welcome back to the Zeldudes podcast. This time, we've got a brand new Echoes of Wisdom trailer. Talk to me. What did you think?
There is so much going on. I mean, let's get right into it. So I think the first thing we can say that we can confirm, and pretty much our theories from the last podcast when we spoke about it, is that this game really is the Breath of the Wild of top-down Zelda games. This will be the biggest top-down 2D Zelda game, hands down, right?
Yeah. I kind of didn't expect it to be this big, and I still get the feeling that there's a lot we're not seeing. In particular, the rifts that have opened around Hyrule. We know that they'll be explorable in some way, but we don't know quite what the extent of that is. And it felt like this trailer ended kind of hinting that there'd be something more. I can't remember what the voiceover says, but it says like, what other challenges will Zelda have to face to save her kingdom or something. So I think there's even more than we've seen. I think they're keeping things close to their chest, despite how massive this game already looks.
But that isn't much of a surprise coming from Nintendo. Of course, they have a few things they don't want to just give away from the trailers. Tears of the Kingdom was a good example of how they had the entire underground hidden from us.
The depths.
So, you know, hopefully they have a few secrets. And I mean, we literally did see Zelda kind of explore the void in the first trailer, like kind of like a teaser. So we do know there's more of that. Yeah, this trailer was more traversing Hyrule, the trailer, as that's literally what we did. And it gave us a really good tour on what to expect and just overall what the general game is going to be like. But yeah, I'm sure there are plenty of secrets and other things we're going to discover along the way. But I mean, what we've seen so far is just so promising, because yeah, this is the Zelda game where we actually get to play as Zelda, but it is breaking so many other conventions in a really cool way that it seems so exciting for the franchise. I don't even know where to begin. Like, where should we begin with all the new things that we're adding?
I mean, you mentioned that it's kind of
big.
Why not?
Right.
Why not?
Okay.
Let's go with horseback.
As you can see, we don't have a script or anything going off of. We're just kind of off the cuff. Not even a thing to go by.
Let's just talk about Echoes of Wisdom. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, the horses. Because I believe, unless I'm really mistaken, there were horses in Four Swords Adventures, right? But not for.
But that's not an open world game. It's not. It's like it was more like a gimmick in the level. It wasn't.
The horse wasn't for like traversal.
Yeah, you're not going
really
from
like
one
this.
area to another, right?
Exactly.
So it's like it's not the same. But
exactly, because what I think's most interesting about the horses isn't the horses themselves, but it's the fact that they're needed. It means the world is of a sufficient size that you need a horse to kind of cut down on travel time. Because this game's world looks absolutely massive. So from the first reveal trailer, we already knew that it was loosely based on the world of A Link to the Past and A Link Between Worlds, which has kind of become like the de facto classic Zelda map. So it kind of makes sense that they've returned to that. But A Link to the Past Hyrule just seems to be the center of this world. It seems that every border around the map has been expanded outwards. So where you had the Desert of Mystery in A Link to the Past, that is now extended out into the Gerudo Desert. You've got Eldin Volcano, which just didn't exist on A Link to the Past map. It was kind of off to the west somewhere. So even though it technically is reusing the map of A Link to the Past and A Link Between Worlds, it's so much bigger. And the way it's designed is it's so open as well, and so
you could look at it as like what Breath of the Wild did to the 3D Zelda map, which is like Hyrule's still in the center, and we see landmarks we've seen in other 3D Zelda games that do look like maybe they'd fit in those games, but things have changed and things have increasingly like just expanded so much more that there's like newer areas that never existed in 2D Zelda games, but just so much more depth that you'll be able to like actually, and just newer areas altogether, right? Like this is going to be the most expansive top-down Hyrule we've ever gotten. I need to make sure I say top-down, not 2D, to not upset
2D.
Yeah.
Because that's the kind of a colloquialism with Zelda games, referring to games like this as 2D. Because it's not 2D, it's got 3D models, 3D world and everything. But by 2D Zelda, what we mean is similar to A Link to the Past rather than Ocarina of Time. That's the simplest way to think. A Link to the Past-esque Zelda games are 2D, Ocarina of Time-esque games are 3D, even if that's not strictly true here. Because this game is very 3D, and for
right, graphically
something which,
and just in general,
gameplay-wise, something that 2D or top-down Zelda games have never really done. A Link Between Worlds kind of played with it. Is a proper sense of verticality. I'm thinking A Link Between Worlds had it in the Tower of Hera, and
I'm thinking how
the
bad
rod
it was
that made
done.
You do the little jump.
Yep, and how badly it was done in the Minish Cap, like how there was meant to be verticality, but it was really hard to see when you would be on your Eslo type gliding cap. Of course, right? So I get it. Yeah, graphically it's not 2D at all, but when we say 2D, we just mean gameplay wise, it plays like the old 2D Zelda games. The camera's not fixed behind Zelda's back, and I'm able to move freely in 3D and do all the stuff that we were able to do from Ocarina of Time and so on. So that's why we refer to it 2D. I don't know why we're putting out this disclaimer, but a decent amount of you guys literally pointed out when we had this debate in the last episode that, technically it's not 2D. So I guess there's our justification for why we say
because
2D.
You could have the same debate about A Link Between Worlds, but I think for Echoes of Wisdom in particular, this game is even less deserving of the 2D moniker because, like I said, how much verticality there is in this game. Zelda's going to be jumping and gliding off mountains, which in a game like this, a top-down Zelda game, is crazy. It really does feel, like you already said, it does feel like the Breath of the Wildification of this type of Zelda game. Which I can't wait to see how this actually plays. Because it's the same kind of design philosophy, it seems, where they're going to... It feels like they'll front-end the game with a load of powerful abilities. We've currently seen the Echo ability, which obviously we've discussed in the last podcast, and the new one, Bind, which is Ultra Hand, right? It's just Ultra Hand. You can't rotate, you can't glue, but other than that...
Nintendo really wants to bring Breath of the Wild to the top-down Zelda universe, and... essentially, that's what we're getting with them adding the Magnesis / Ultra Hand ability with Bind. Really cool to see.
What do you think of Bind, by the way?
I mean, let's be real. Most of the fun that Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom offered was with being able to pick up objects and moving around and kind of interact with the environment and, see what you can make from it. And so I get with this game being open world, solve things the way you want, them implementing that ability. I do think it's a bit lame that it looks literally like a Zonai ability, even down to the color, but that could be lore related. So maybe it's cool. Maybe it will be interesting in that sense, but
maybe there are a few interesting things like Link's cloak at the very start of the game and Link's sword both have kind of Zonai feeling to them, which
or Twilight
in particular, or Twilight, but in particular
you can look at it as ancient forgotten race of Hyrule. That's
something like that. But in particular, Link's sword that we see him use at the very beginning looks almost identical to the sword that's used in the Fuse icon in Tears of the Kingdom. And it seems that the Echoes of Wisdom developers have not been subtle about taking inspiration from Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. I'm sure we'll cover that a lot more in this discussion because there are so many things that you can tell they've just taken straight from the Switch games. Bind is obviously a big example. The Adventure Log is another massive one. We've never seen an extensive quest system in a 2D game.
How dare you say that? How dare you say we've? Oh,
where are you going with this?
You saved yourself. I was gonna do another one of those where people overcorrect something that should be obvious. Which is I also said what's it called? Oh, we've never really seen a quest menu in what's it called? Zelda up until Breath of the Wild, but let's not forget the Bomber's Notebook.
Majora's Mask.
With the bomber.
Right. Okay.
But it's that's come on. I do get it. No, but you're right technically. But come on.
Especially more so in Majora's Mask 3D.
Maybe in 3D because you could literally beat the whole game, and you can beat the whole game with never getting the Bomber's Notebook in the original. So that's a horrible example, anyways. And let's be real. It wasn't that organized. I do like it though. The Bomber's Notebook was a step in the right direction, but no, Nintendo perfected it by the time they made Breath of the Wild. And I'll be honest, I love the quest log for Breath of the Wild. I think it holds up till today. It's modern enough. And bring it into this game, it will work. Like it literally pinpoints where you need to go. You know, it's the, what would you call it? Like the Ubisoft style. It literally makes it so easy on what to do. It pinpoints where you need to go, tracks everything for you. Boom. That's something that you may look as like it makes the games easier, but it's kind of needed for these overwhelmingly huge games.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's cool that we're getting it a top down.
A massive world.
Right? But now, I mean, this game is probably going to be overwhelmingly huge that we're going to need it. Yeah, so it's going to be pretty cool to see.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, every Zelda game prior to Breath of the Wild, especially the top-down ones, there was like a handful of quests. Literally just a handful, right? Now, it's looking like, no, there's going to be so many, you're going to lose track. You're going to need something to keep track of it. And I do like how the UI, it's clean, it's beautiful, it's looking nice. I'm loving it.
Yeah. I think if there's one thing that I wanted them to rip straight from Breath of the Wild, I think the adventure log would be quite high up there. Because I absolutely love the look of it in Echoes of Wisdom, and I think one of the main reasons for that is just the fact that it's needed to log the quest. It means that there will be enough quests of kind of substantial enough substance, I suppose, is a weird way to say it, but to necessitate this. So one of my things that I do love the look of the mechanics, bind and echo abilities, they all look amazing. But I think the thing that right now is standing out to me about Echoes of Wisdom as the most exciting thing is the world and the characters, and I can't wait to just explore this Hyrule and talk to people and think about mysteries and whatever. And the fact that they've put a full quest system in a game like this means that there is that depth to this world. There will be, a ton of side characters that have connections with one another. That's what I really, really can't wait to get stuck into. It's the same with Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom somewhat. Obviously, I appreciated the work that went into the abilities, especially in Tears of the Kingdom. Things like Ultra Hand and Ascend are magic. But where I think that I didn't love Tears of the Kingdom quite as much was the quests didn't hit as hard for me as they did in Breath of the Wild. And I know there were more, and many of them were expanded from Breath of the Wild. But at least I don't know how you felt about Tears of the Kingdom side quests, but at least for me, they didn't hit quite the same.
I think,
but with Echoes of Wisdom, and I think a big reason for that is that it's returning to the same Hyrule as in Breath of the Wild. Whereas Echoes of Wisdom, we've got a fresh Hyrule, a completely new thing, obviously based on Link to the Past, but still full of new characters. They'll have new interactions with one another, and I just can't wait to start exploring it.
Yeah, from the glimpses we've seen already, Zelda spawning Zols for that little kid because you want to see some.
Yes.
Or the rock roast. Like, I'm just excited. Like, yeah, it's looking fun. Like, and I like how they notice her as Zelda. I remember we were talking about this before. Like, oh, the cloak. What if she's trying to disguise herself? Nah, that's Zelda. They notice her. That's cool. I'm gonna be walking around as royalty in Hyrule. Like, I'm hyped.
I do think she's in disguise at some
maybe from
point
the knights
in this game.
Well, I'm thinking, because
from the soldiers, I think, in particular.
Yeah, right. That's what I was going to say.
There's wanted posters around.
Yes. There's only a wanted poster of Zelda. Yeah. I noticed that. So, no, I do agree. I meant like, clearly she's not in disguise from everyone. Like, I assumed the game was going to be like, just because she has the cloak on, no one identifies her. You know what I mean? Like some silly video game type thing, like where it's just like, oh, because there's a mask on, I don't know it's you anymore or something. But no, it doesn't seem like that's the case. Yeah, she's probably just laying low because, but I mean, either way, speaking of cloaks, I guess this is a good segue. You don't even have to wear that throughout the game. Like, another thing that they're bringing from Breath of the Wild into this game that's really Breath of the Wild defying the, top-down Zelda games is outfits, customization, being able to dress up your protagonist, I should say Zelda, not Link, as you please, which is so cool. And I'm someone who's, let's be honest, most of us are huge fans of cosmetics in games. We all have spent money in some way or fashion on some game for just literally a skin. So being able to get this in a game is always so cool. I love it. I will never not want it in a game. I love customization, even the most minimal customization. Like I'm upset in games like Phantom Hourglass, Spirit Tracks, even Majora's Mask that you can't even have like different colored tunics or small little things. Like I always just like to have a little flair that's my own. So pretty cool to see.
True, yeah, because you're always red tunic whenever that's available. Even if you're not in Death Mountain, you'll stay in the red tunic.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, we've got the cloak. There's kind of a riding outfit, which has got kind of like leather gloves on. And then a Gerudo outfit, which is interesting. Which, if there's a Gerudo outfit, kind of makes me think there'll be Zora-related outfits and Gorons and everything.
For sure. But speaking of Zora-related things, there's accessories, and there's like Zora flippers, so she can put them on. But those accessories don't physically change her appearance. It's just buffs, which is really cool. So, I mean, would you think, so if anything, and we kind of forgot to talk about this is a good example of how we're kind of unorganized, we're just kind of going off the cuff, but the horse. So we were mentioning how like, oh, you know, top-down Zelda games, you never really needed a horse because the map wasn't that big, but let's not completely forget, you still want to get around fast, and you did. You still got around fast. It was the Pegasus boots. So maybe the Pegasus boots might be one of it, like an item that she can get as well. I'll be honest, the horse didn't even look that fast in the game. Like it looked like as fast as the Pegasus boots, if not even slower. So maybe the Pegasus boots might still exist. That'd be cool.
It just it looks a little bit more stylish, I suppose, to ride a horse rather than just kind of like do a little cartoon zoom run.
You know, you got to be on a pony with the ponytail. I thought it was pretty cool. I like how she has the ponytail
I think it's pretty cool.
And she looks so much like Peach, like in that, you know, that specific render of like her with the ponytail on the, you know.
Yes.
It literally looks like Peach's redesign for what's it called? Super Princess Peach, or what's it called? Showtime? That's
Showtime.
Yeah, well, I wasn't a huge fan of this game. It's crazy because this game actually looks good. Like this will, like, of course Zelda will do the princess game good. Sadly, I mean, I love Mario to death, but Mario didn't do it. They failed. Like, this is their second time failing. This is Princess Peach's second game, and it was no good. But it's funny to me because, like, both of them have gold little fairy-like companions. Both of them got ponytail redesigns. They both their own game. Like 2024 really is the year of Nintendo princesses. Again, too bad Metroid wasn't coming out this year. It would have been literally the three Nintendo blonde.
The trifecta.
Right?
Yeah. But I agree with you, and especially I love the way you have to use the echo of a carrot to summon your horse. That's just such a cool way to summon it using this game's mechanics, because obviously carrots are, you like in Ocarina of Time, your boost on the horse is a carrot symbol.
Or the stamina meter.
Exactly. Which looks really cool. We don't yet know where Zelda is gonna find the horses, whether she tames them in the wild, like in Breath of the Wild.
Which is interesting.
Horses, right? Because we've seen a brown one and a white one. Like
we've seen her, the white stallion. It's not stallion. Is it?
The white mare.
No, hers is a white royal stallion. It's a male.
Or is it stallion? Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
But I think, I don't know, in the clip of Zelda riding the brown horse through the field, she ends up in what looks like Lon Lon Ranch, which, if that exists in this Hyrule, that's obviously going to be where she gets the horses from. Which I don't think is a stretch, because you can see what looks a lot like Lon Lon Ranch on the minimap. And this game doesn't seem to be shying from bringing
references,
different. Exactly, you know, like the Great Deku Tree and things like that. I wouldn't be surprised at all if we saw Lon Lon Ranch. But speaking of the Great Deku Tree, I wonder if we'll see Lord Jabu Jabu in this game as well.
They alluded to him slightly, or am I reaching?
No, not at all. What with the
Jabul Waters
for the Zora? Jabul, for sure. Yeah, that's referencing both Jabu Jabu and Jaboon. Obviously, they use the same name.
Which he was in reference to Jabu Jabu. Yep.
Exactly. But we know that there's a conflict between the Zora, the River Zora, and the Sea Zora. That's another thing that this latest.
And I love how they just casually say it, right? They casually like Sea Zora, River Zora. Okay, so that's a thing now.
Which, you know, we see them arguing at this sort of Zora shrine area. It's not really clear what this is.
It reminds me of the top of the waterfall in A Link to the Past and A Link Between Worlds. It kind of looks like, obviously it's not, but it's giving me that vibe of like, maybe that's where the source of Hyrule's water flow is.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it does look like it could be Jabu Jabu's fountain or something like that. And we don't see Jabu Jabu, which, considering characters are going missing in this game with the rifts, maybe that's something to do with the conflict. Because another reason I think the Jabu Jabu possibly will turn up is, I think I mentioned this in the last discussion we had about this game, but there is so much oracles in this, to the point where I still wonder if it might have begun as an Oracles remake using the Link's Awakening engine before it just mutated into completely its own thing. But obviously Jabu Jabu is another Oracles appearance. It wouldn't surprise me at all if he is in this game, and that's one of the reasons that the two Zora tribes at each other's throats, which seems to be a conflict that Zelda will have to resolve. Which, yeah, I think is really cool. Did anything in particular stand out to you about the Zora in this game? You're just happy to see.
For me, I'm just happy to see all the races, including Deku Scrubs. That's something that's been absent from the series for quite a bit.
Yes. And as a proper civilization as well, like in Majora's Mask. Yeah.
I guess a part of me, I mean, you might say I'm being a bit greedy. Let's be real. We already have two of the kind. Do we need a third? Yeah. But I kind of wish we'd see the Rito. Like, why not? You know, I get, we got the sea, we got the River Zora. Do we really need the evolution of Zora? But like, they're their own kind, and Breath of the Wild really established them as their own race coexisting with them. So
for sure. Not, right? I mean, pure speculation, but we haven't seen anything from Hebra, the snowy region in Echoes of Wisdom.
Yeah, true.
So there probably is another race there. Not saying it is the Rito. It could be, I don't know, it could be the Anuki from Phantom Hourglass.
And you know what? That would be cool. That would fit too.
That'd be super cool. That'd be really cool. But you know, maybe we'll get Rito as well.
Yep.
But I'm very happy to see the Gorons back. Again, that's another Oracles thing.
Bro, that's not saying too much though. Like the Gorons are like
but in a 2D Zelda game, they're not all that common. Like what? The Minish Cap, and the
Oracles,
one or both of the Oracles. I always get confused.
You literally get the Bagoran sword in an Oracle.
Bagoran sword, right? Of course. Yeah, and the Goron dance minigame in I believe it's Ages. I always get mixed up between those two.
So it's really just a link to the. I guess I get what you're saying. No, bro, wait. A Link Between Worlds, there's Gorons. And A Link to the Past, is there? I can't remember now.
No, A Link Between Worlds has the Sage, who's technically a Hylian, but is very clearly descended from a Goron or something like that.
True. That's what. So they don't exist in A Link Between Worlds or A Link to the Past, do they?
Well, definitely not A Link to the Past, and unless I'm really misremembering, they're not in A Link Between Worlds either.
I don't know why I for some reason think I just love Goron in A Link Between Worlds, but I might be wrong. It's
because of that guy. It's because he looks like a Goron. Right. He has a Goron symbol on him. I can't remember his name, but he's one of the sages.
Okay.
But yeah, Goron's fully back in this as their own race in Eldin Volcano, which is interesting that it's not called Death Mountain.
What's more interesting is what's on the base of it, because this is something that we haven't even seen in the A Link Between Worlds or A Link to the Past map. And that is, it's kind of in reference of Ocarina of Time and Twilight Princess, with how the base of Eldin is Kakariko Village, which I find pretty cool, because that's something we've never seen in the top-down Zelda games with that kind of structure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it kind of, we don't know how Echoes of Wisdom will fit into the timeline at the moment, but placing Eldin Volcano just off the edge of A Link to the Past's map, but near Kakariko, kind of retcons A Link to the Past and A Link Between Worlds Kakariko as being at the foot of a volcano, as it should be. You could just kind of pretend that Eldin Volcano was off there in the distance, and you just didn't see it in the game.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, but but let's be real. But for me, when I think of Kakariko in the top-down Zelda games, I think of the Master Sword above it, or the forest, the Sacred Forest. You never think of Death Mountain close to it. So, it's weird because again, you look at this map thinking it's gonna follow at least an outline of the A Link to the Past, A Link Between Worlds map, but nah, it's very vaguely similar, and then it kind of just branches off into something else entirely. Like you feel like the landmarks are there, but they're really not. Because a good example is the mountain. It moved off to the side, but then again, maybe that like you said, that other mountain could exist, and it could be a Hebra.
Yeah, so we
mountain?
do see that in Hebra. We do see that in the Breath of the Wild shot at the start of the trailers. We do see that mountain there, so it does still exist, and it seems that only the very center of the map is similar to A Link Between Worlds and A Link to the Past, and the center is actually very, very similar. You can there's a shot of when Zelda pulls a chest out of the ground with Bind in a very Ultra Hand way. That's where Link's house should be if it was the same map. It's the same little kind of hill.
Yeah, you're right.
Which is really cool. But then, as soon as you get away from the very center of Hyrule, it seems it's just gonna stretch out into who knows how far. We know certain things are probably quite far away, like the Sea Zora, their domain seems to be out at sea, like you'd expect. So you know we'll be swimming off the coast of Hyrule, which in a game like this is just unbelievable. One thing that we learned in this trailer that we didn't know from the first one, we knew they were going to be in the game. We didn't know what they were going to do. Deku Scrubs. I always want to say Deku Sprouts because of the great Deku Tree Sprout in Ocarina of Time, but Deku Scrubs returning in very much their Majora's Mask look. Business Scrubs. Sorry, there you go. Took me about 6 times to get the right name there. Business Scrubs.
Oh, you were...
Who in this game...
Okay, so you weren't just saying that Deku Scrubs returned. You meant also specifically Business Scrubs.
I meant specifically the Business Scrubs, but it just took me a while to get there. Yeah, we know what they do now. They sell smoothies, which is a very Zelda thing. No one ever would have predicted that they're smoothie sales. We knew they had potions, but I don't know. Smoothies is just great. It's so cool.
Yeah, I wonder why.
And this seems
is
to
it
be
like to seem like it? I don't know. Potions are old, or I don't know. What's the reason?
Or maybe Zelda
potions still exist.
Takes care of her health. Zelda likes vitamins
but like we see Zelda when she picks up the flippers that there are potions, like she can purchase potions.
It seems most shops
still sell them. So I know. I mean, like, but I guess that specifically the Deku Scrubs specialize in that, and I guess that's gonna be so that way you can. It's her new way of crafting food. Maybe I guess that's what it is. You know, Zelda. You know, she likes to keep, like you said, she wants to keep her figure tight. I guess you know what is just healthy, trying to get by. She just needs a smoothie. She's not trying to eat much. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Exactly, and it does. I think you're right. It does seem to be another Breath of the Wildism. This seems to be this game's cooking system or crafting system. It seems like Breath of the Wild.
Link cooks up big, huge meals. You know, the girl just cooks up some smoothie. You know, whips up some
smoothie. No, she's far more sensible. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but it's really cool. It seems that all these different items, like we see electrifying apple or something like that. All these different materials will have different effects, different buffs, and then it seems that you can combine two different materials at a Business Scrub and get a smoothie that gives you both effects. I wonder if at some point we might be able to upgrade that to perhaps having 3 effects or something. But still, it seems like a really cool way to incentivize players collecting all these materials around the world. Another thing that I think is kind of interesting is that I do like Breath of the Wild's cooking system. I think it's a cool way to use all these materials. One thing that I don't like is that it does make the game very easy. As soon as you gather a few, hearty truffles or something, you can make 20 dishes that will heal you to max HP, and you'll never die when you have them. You just pause whenever.
Exactly. The way you consume them are broken too. Like, it's looking like since these are smoothies, Zelda will have to literally gulp it down. We don't necessarily see her do that, but like, I hope that's the case because I agree with you 100% that Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, well, already it was broken that you could, like you said, cook so many hearty foods and just stack up on it. You could also pause, so there was literally no moment to where you actually had to like recover or like you'll be punished if you get hit while doing it.
It's like zero time healing.
Right, so there's
and the fact that I don't even know what the maximum amount of meals you can hold in those games is, because there's a few screens that you can scroll through of meals. It's loads. But I wonder if, because these are smoothies, are they going to be tied to empty bottles? Like
I hope
potions?
so. Yeah, that's what I was going to.
In older Zelda games, you could get red potion, you could get a fairy in your bottle, you could get Granny's soup in the Wind Waker, the Grandma's soup. You could get healing items, but you had a cap, which was the amount of bottles you could have. And bottles in old Zelda games are really scarce. You know, they're quite substantial rewards getting an empty bottle. So I wonder if that's going to be the same here. Maybe Zelda will have, I don't know, a maximum of 5 empty bottles or something, some of which she'll choose to fill with potions from shops or smoothies, but she won't have access to this unlimited pool of, you know, hearty truffle food like in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, which could be a way to keep the creativity and the freedom you get from cooking your own meals, but kind of, you know, put a lid on it a little bit and kind of control it and make it not completely ruin the game's difficulty, like cooking in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom kind of does a little bit. So I'm really excited to see how that works. I think it's a cool system.
Yeah, I wonder even how the difficulty will be with how many options and like just the way they want you to like solve things and take on enemies and everything. Like it looks like either the game is supposed to be really easy for anyone to play, or it might just have so many ways of solving things that you can overcomplicate things or like make things super simple. I'm just excited to see, because that is, I guess, one of the worries I have. Like, is this going to feel like a true full-on Zelda game? It looks like a true Zelda game, but, like, we've never really experienced this type of creativity in a top-down game. So, I don't know. I'm just hoping, like, like, and I'm sure it's a Zelda game. It's gonna have puzzles. It's gonna be, you're gonna be scratching your head. Like, you know what I mean? But we'll really see, like, how it feels when it does release, especially, like, when it comes to, like, gameplay difficulty. Like, I don't know.
I hope they've designed the puzzles with Zelda's abilities in mind, in the way that this is their 3rd time now. This is their 3rd game that's using this kind of complete sandbox philosophy. And I felt this a little bit in Breath of the Wild. I felt this a lot in Tears of the Kingdom, that you're just too powerful. You have too many options that you can break almost any puzzle, especially in Tears of the Kingdom. Most of those shrines, you don't have to interact with the puzzle at all. You can just kind of, you know, fly over the top of it or something. You know, even in shrines, you can use Magnesis and Recall, Ultra Hand and Recall together to basically fly. And this game kind of looks like Zelda's going to be Tears of the Kingdom Link level powerful with the amount of options she has. I kind of hope that they've taken that into account when they design the puzzles a little bit more than it seemed they did with Tears of the Kingdom, where it felt like the developers were quite happy to set up these puzzles and have players kind of circumvent them in, you know, their own way. I think the developers of Tears of the Kingdom, it felt like the developers thought that was a brilliant thing, which, you know, you could argue that it is, or you could argue that it isn't. I don't know. I prefer more robust puzzles that are harder to break in that way, because at least in Tears of the Kingdom, it feels like once you find something that works, you can kind of brute force any puzzle with the same kind of solution. And I hope that isn't the case in Echoes of Wisdom, because these game mechanics look so cool and so creative. I really want them to be pushed to their limit. I don't want there to just be you know, something like the hover bike. I don't want that to appear out of Zelda's abilities. I don't want there to be, you know, one echo that you can bind yourself to that then just circumvents everything. I really hope that there's, you know, that there is a bit of a difficulty jump.
I'm sure there will be. I'm sure there'll be like one broken echo that the game testers just couldn't figure out, that, you know, fans will find and abuse, that will probably be patched or something. But I wonder. Yeah, for the most part, I do want to believe that that it's gonna be like, if Nintendo's willing to take this step, they know what they're doing. They've pioneered so many new game concepts and ideas that, you know, we shouldn't know. If it's gonna be a good game, we shouldn't know what to expect to begin with. You know what I mean? And till now, I do feel that way, because I genuinely don't, like, when you're telling me open world, but, like, you know, solve it your style in a top-down game, it's just like, I don't know, that the puzzles seem limiting. Like, so do I just stack a couple beds on top of each other and just go higher up? Like, what else? What other puzzles am I gonna be solving? So I'm just genuinely excited to see, what's in store. And it's interesting, because what they've shown so far, it looks super interesting, but, like, you know, Nintendo isn't showing anything really when it comes to, like, at its core, what to expect. So it's like,
exactly,
I don't know. It's exciting to say the least.
I'm interested, because I didn't see Bind coming at all. I kind of thought Echo. Yeah. I mean, Echoes are still the central mechanic. It's in the game's name. But Bind is massive, and the fact that we didn't know that even existed before this trailer is wild. It makes me wonder if there's going to be more. Do you think Zelda might have a core set of 4 abilities like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom?
I don't think it'd be 4 per se, but I mean, maybe. I mean, no, because, well, it could be because we saw obviously the Echo in terms of spawning, right? And then we got Bind, and then what was the other one we saw? I guess that's like another. Right?
Yeah, they're the 2 kind of main abilities we've seen.
Yeah, because Echo, you're right. Echo is you can spawn a bed, but you can also spawn an enemy, right? So you're right. So maybe there might be like 2 more, like maybe the next overview trailer or something. They're saving another one or something. But I wonder what it would be because one, she can manipulate objects, and now she can literally make objects. So she has godly powers. What like she could break the game.
Yeah, exactly. The only thing I can think of that I think would be super cool in a game like this is some sort of time manipulation thing, like Recall.
There you go, and
I think in a game like this,
spot on. That is spot
Recall
on.
would be amazing,
hilarious.
right? Imagine the puzzles you can do with this.
Yep. Oh my god! If anything, that's it. It'd be hilarious to like drop enemies or move them around and then rewind it or something. But
exactly, yeah.
It'd be interesting to see how it works in a top-down game where the fixed camera angle. They would have to definitely simplify it a lot more, but I do see that, and time is a huge thing in Zelda, so I would love to see that.
Well, like with Zelda's abilities in mind, how do you feel about the combat? Because I've seen people on kind of both sides of the fence with this. A lot of people love the creativity and the sandbox style of combat that Echoes seems to be going for. There's a lot of people who say they just prefer, a sword and a bow instead of kind of summoning enemies to fight with you or whatever. Where do you stand on that?
This kind of goes into what I was talking about earlier with how it's hard to expect because it seems so minimal. Like, so am I just gonna grab an enemy and plop him off, the cliff and I'm done? Like, that just seems too easy. Right? It seems like they're gonna have to implement more things to make your OP powers not seem as OP. So I feel like we haven't really necessarily seen what that will be, but from what it seems so far, it seems like Zelda's just so strong, and it's could be worrying for someone who's looking for more of a challenge. I'm not worried. Like I said, I know Nintendo will have something in store that will just completely, befuddle. There's a word. What's the word?
Befuddle works. Yeah.
Befuddle. Yeah, there you go. Befuddle. I like puzzle. I don't know.
Befuddled right now. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I'm befuddled on the word, but I'm sure that will eventually happen.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where I stand. I'm kind of similar to you in that we've currently only seen her, fighting moblins and really basic things. We haven't seen her be properly tested, if that makes sense. But I don't know. I hope it's not too much maintenance. I hope that it's not too tedious to constantly have to summon echoes and bind them to this and that and whatever. Because a lot of what works for 2D Zelda games, at least for me, is that they are very simple. Link has 1 or 2 sword moves, and that's good for all the combat because most of the difficulty comes with positioning Link rather than
I guess you could
else.
Look at it. Well, now that you say that, that could be the main difficulty with Zelda, just positioning herself, because her arsenal doesn't need to be that crazy, and what she has is already, from what we've seen, it's already pretty intense. So 100%.
Exactly.
Even if you spawn an enemy to do your bidding, the enemy can just go around that, like the enemy you're facing can go around your enemy and just attack you. So that could be it. What if Zelda is super helpless without her sorcery, and that is the challenge? Like she's kind of like a glass cannon. That'd be kind of cool.
I wonder if that is the case. I think that would make sense for her character because...
And let's be honest, I think class like hers would be that. You know what I mean? Like a mage type class in a game.
Yeah, exactly. Because the developers themselves said when making a Zelda game rather than a Legend of Zelda game as Link, they didn't want to do it unless there was a reason for Zelda to be the protagonist rather than Link. So if Zelda was, using a sword and a shield and a bow, then why have Zelda in the game at all?
Right. Right.
But now you've got a game where she's a magic user. She doesn't use a sword except in Twilight Princess. So I don't know. I'm really interested to see how the combat works, because I feel like we've only seen very, very small amounts of it yet. And I think my opinion on it is the same as my opinion on the puzzles, where I just hope the puzzles and the combat are both difficult enough to like actually challenge a protagonist this powerful. Because yeah, Zelda looks absolutely cracked in this game, and I hope she'll come up against challenges that, you know, are balanced against how strong she is, which is something that I felt Tears of the Kingdom kind of missed on that balance. I think Link was too strong for the game, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. And it does seem like it's setting up for that. I mean, the threat of Hyrule is not just Ganondorf. It seems otherworldly, literally like voids of just consuming Hyrule. It's looking insane. So like, I don't know, to me this is the most out there a Zelda game has went in terms of like really breaking Hyrule in a sense. You know, like we've never had a game where it's like Hyrule is completely like to me that's exciting, because there's so many possibilities, and it reminds me somewhat of like the original Hyrule Warriors, where like because of this you can kind of merge different ideas and assets together, and already this game screams that. It's if anything, it makes it harder to pinpoint where it would be in the timeline, in the sense of like, I still do believe it has to be in the Downfall, but then is that the very end, or like what exactly is going on? It makes you wonder, but overall,
I agree that Downfall, but as for where, no, the jury's out at the moment.
I think it has to be Downfall, just because, again, like you said, the skeleton of this Hyrule is identical, but on top of it, let's be real, Nintendo's gonna make their next top-down Zelda game in this timeline of top-down Zelda games, essentially.
Exactly, yeah. The Downfall timeline's the only branch without a 3D game. It's very much the 2D branch.
And it's the only one that uses this Ganondorf. I forgot. Like, so I guess that's the biggest dead giveaway, where Ganon is no longer Ganondorf. Ganondorf literally ceases to exist. My bad. That's another thing I need to stop doing. Again, I forget, because there's always people who want, oh, you said Ganondorf, not Ganon. I know the difference between the two. You know, one's a dwarf. One isn't.
But I've seen a lot of people discuss this. I want to know your take. Who do you think the main villain of Echoes of Wisdom will be? Do you reckon Ganon, or do you think that's going to kind of be a fake out?
I think it's something higher than him. Yeah, 100% it's a fake out. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
and I think it better be cooler. It better be something way, way cooler. Let's just say not Yuga, because Yuga was like lame in my eyes.
Well, it was like a Lorulian Ganondorf. But so do you think Ganon, the Ganon we see at the start that Link defeats, do you think that's kind of like a
phantom?
Yeah, literally. Or an Echo.
Or an Echo, because it does look like an Echo. Literally, yeah, you're right. Because and that'd be cool.
It is odd when Link defeats him at the start of the first trailer. He kind of just disintegrates quite quickly and unceremoniously after being defeated, in a similar way to how Phantom Ganon kind of just dissipates. He doesn't have a whole death cutscene.
How cool would it be if it's Hilda and it's like. Literally,
that'd be amazing if the rifts end up in Lorule somehow.
And like Zelda sees herself again, or like wait, it's a dark Zelda. What is? And then you realize, oh my, but it's not. That'd be so cool. I don't know why. Why did I set myself up to be anticipating this? I shouldn't even thought that. Damn, that'd be cool. I'm and let's be real. I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me if the villain is a female, just because the protagonist is a female. I feel like, I don't know. It seems like a cliche, but you know what I mean. You can kind of see Nintendo go there, right? So like if there is someone above Ganon,
you could, if you're kind of thinking of like the anti-Zelda, whereas like Ganon and Link are both warriors. They're very physical characters.
Right? You'd want a mage like Wisdom, antagonist as well, right? Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. No, I can't wait, but I think I'm in agreement with you that I think there's someone behind Ganon, and I don't think we're seeing the whole picture. Because a classic Zelda thing is to give us like a mid-game twist.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, it's like, well, here's the thing. Nintendo isn't like other companies to where they have to literally sell their whole game in the trailer to hope you'll buy it. Nintendo likes to keep mysteries. That's, so it's like, I hope I'm not wrong. Yeah, what if there's not a single No, there will be, but
no, there will be. I think they are hiding some things. 'Cause the rifts in general, we know very, very little about. One thing that's interesting to me at the moment is the temple or the dungeon or whatever that we see Zelda in at the very start, where Link fights Ganon, where she's imprisoned.
Yep.
We know Zelda returns to that later on.
The rock.
So obviously at the start, she's imprisoned. Yeah, and she comes back with Tri. It's where she learns Bind. And then she fights this kind of rock golem thing, which ordinarily wouldn't be all that interesting. It's just kind of, a classic Zelda boss thing that Zelda will face. It's probably the first boss in the game. But it's got this weird purple glow. It's got this strange orb of purple energy below it in one of the screenshots. Which, that's the same color as the rifts. I wonder if defeating bosses might help heal Hyrule or give her access to the rifts. Or there's definitely some connection between that golem and that temple and the rifts that have opened in Hyrule. But that's something that they're being deliberately elusive about. The game's story in general, we really don't know a lot. We've got kind of little pieces, but as for how it all fits together, we've no idea. But still, I think it's cool that I've been trying to piece together, basically. I've been trying to piece together how the intro of the game goes, because it seems that between these two trailers, we've seen a lot of the beginning of the game. But as for like the chronology of like the order of events, I'm still a little unclear, because it seems that Zelda's imprisoned at the start by Ganondorf. By Ganon. There you go. I'm turning it to you. Link arrives, kills Ganon, or maybe not Ganon, saves Zelda, but then Link falls into the chasm. Then the chasm that was opened by Ganon's trident, which is interesting in itself. Zelda's then taken by guards to Hyrule Castle, where she meets the king. We know the king is then taken into a rift. There's an additional bit of footage from the Japanese website of that. And again, at this point, Zelda still doesn't have Tri in all this footage, so we know it is right at the start of the game. Then there's this whole sequence where Zelda meets Tri in jail.
Yeah.
So it seems that she's wrongfully imprisoned by the soldiers. That's the thing that A Link to the Past did, A Link Between Worlds did, where the soldiers are either brainwashed or they're kind of made of paintings in A Link Between Worlds. But either way, the Hyrulean army turns on you as the main character.
I mean, even Minish Cap did that.
Even Minish Cap did that, yeah, exactly. Yep. And then we know that Zelda returns to the intro dungeon to fight the golem. So that seems to be how the beginning of the game goes.
I bet you're vaguely correct.
After that, we know nothing. We don't know kind of what the main quest will be. I do wonder if, because of how Breath of the Wild-y this game seems to be, I wonder if we'll have, regional phenomena sort of things. You'll have to go to each area and solve their problem with the rifts.
Oh, I'm sure.
I wonder if that could be the case. Because we do see the Gerudo quest. It's to do with the Gerudo having problems with the rifts.
And the Zora aren't happy with each other. So I'm sure there's
Zora
some kind
happy
of conflict
with each other.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, if I'm right and Jabu's been rifted, then that could be the case there. I don't know what's going on with the Deku. There seems to be something to do with spiders down there.
And what they're eating, cotton candy webs or something.
But it's made of spider webs. Yeah, and there's a few other spider webs you see around that.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Which is cool. I wonder if that'll be the case, and it will be regional phenomena-esque. But one thing I wonder I wonder how you feel as well. What do you think we're going to see in terms of dungeons in Echoes of Wisdom?
Honestly, that's the most confusing part that I guess we have to wait and see, because like I said, in terms of puzzles, like what we know is like, okay, so you can just stack stuff on top of each other and visit anywhere you want to go. How are they going to make the puzzles unique, in terms of like in dungeons? So for me, it's like, I'm just excited to see, because Zelda won't have her standard set. Let's hope they're actual dungeons, and maybe like it's not all about the overworld, because what if the game is so heavily focused on exploring the overworld, we don't really even have dungeons? This could be a completely dungeonless game, and Zelda just solving conflict around Hyrule, and that's it. Because all we've seen is the overworld. Yeah, we've seen caves and stuff like that, but that's not anything new to top-down Zelda games. There's caves, but that's a lot different than a full-on dungeon. I don't know. Again, this ain't the same Zelda. You know what I mean? This is the Zelda where you could say, who are you playing as? Oh, I'm playing as Zelda. So it's just like, there is so much that this game is doing new to the series that I'm just happy it exists. I'm all for it, but I you don't know what to expect, and at least I'm hoping Nintendo, again, like you said, if they're gonna give us a Zelda game, there's a reason why it's a Zelda game and not just another entry.
Obviously I want dungeons, but I want to say that we will see proper dungeons in this one. I can't really see the game.
So how do you get an item from the dungeon? But how does a Zelda dungeon work? Like, you get the item in the middle of the dungeon. I mean, I guess Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild, you just have your arsenal from the beginning.
I don't know if you'll need the same progression. You won't find the boomerang.
That's what I'm saying. We've never seen open world 2D dungeons or top-down dungeons. It's just, it's going to be interesting. But I guess I don't know what to tell you. What about you? So you believe there'll be dungeons, at least, like, strong hope.
But I don't know whether that's kind of me wanting to believe there are dungeons, because like you said, we've seen kind of clips throughout the trailers that could be dungeons. We've seen like caves and things, but nothing that explicitly says yes, there will be dungeons in this game. But I kind of just can't imagine a game like this without dungeons. I think they are necessary, I think. Because, with how Breath of the Wild-y this game is, I did wonder at first if we'd see something equivalent to shrines, like little pocket challenges around the overworld. And I do wonder if that's what the rifts are. We see Zelda enter rifts. There's little sections where rifts have this kind of golden ripple that Tri can open out into a portal. And in the first trailer, we saw a clip of Zelda traveling through this rift, which does seem like a very restricted, like a pocket challenge, like a shrine. And she won't be able to use her extreme powers of exploration there because, if she strays off course, she falls into the void. So I wonder if the rifts, which are scattered all across the world and she can enter, will kind of fill that void of shrines. Because with how much they've taken from the Switch games, it wouldn't surprise me at all if we did see something like Shrines return. So I do wonder if that's what the rifts are. But where do you stand on the purpose of the rifts, like the gameplay purpose? Do you think they could be shrines as well? Or?
So far, what I can gather from the rifts is just that they're the reason why you gotta, save Hyrule. Like, they're swallowing up people and parts of Hyrule. It would be cool if you can enter them and do on like a mini shrine. And I can see that happening more than dungeons, I'll be honest. Like, really? That would probably be easier as well, because Nintendo just needs to put mini puzzles throughout the overworld that you're already gonna explore, right? Instead of like making full-on themed dungeons and everything. So I could totally see that happening. I hope not, though, to be honest.
You think? So what's your take on why the rifts are explorable? Do you think just you think it'd be more kind of story progression that a few select points throughout the games there'll be rift
you literally areas, how you see like how you see enemies spawn from it, at certain points of the game, maybe you're gonna have to shut one down and then you have to face whatever's inside of it and interact with it and everything. Again, we have no clue. At least we're a month and a half away from the game. It's nice to we're not speculating for years to come. And only literally probably within a week or two we'll even know more information about the game, because literally this news came out just the other day, and literally the next day we got even more just detailed information on everything. So literally every day there could be more information, because we're getting so close to it.
Exactly. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's the way they've been marketing these kind of quick release games, where they'll announce it and then a couple of months later it's out. With games like Mario Wonder, they just kind of go on a spree of sharing loads of information about it on their social media channels, rather than the bigger Zelda games, which are often you get bigger trailers in directs or whatever. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if we did start seeing a kind of rapid fire information dump on Echoes of Wisdom quite soon. Because we're not far out at all from this game, which is mad. I'm so used to knowing about a Zelda game and knowing I'm gonna have to wait 5 or 6 years to get my hands on it.
Right.
So it's insane that we'll be playing this in a matter of weeks. 8 weeks or whatever.
Yeah, it's interesting because like within the span of half a year, we would have played the game for longer than we've known about the game. But Tears of the Kingdom, we have to wait another 4 years to have played the game longer than we've known about the game. And that is bad marketing strategy because it really screws up with your expectations, hype, and it's just like. And when you finally get the game after all these years, you might not. So like, I guess I get why it's probably better to like have the game ready before. But again, with these blockbuster giant Zelda games or like movie, all that stuff, like they're just announcing it's in development. Like you understand why it takes forever, but
yeah,
I don't know. It's just nice. I guess it is a nice change of pace. So last time we got this in the Zelda series was what, like Hyrule Warriors, Age of Calamity, or Hyrule Warriors and A Link's Awakening as well. Link's Awakening had like half a year,
what,
right?
Like 8 months, something like that.
Yeah, it wasn't much, which is nice.
I remember because it was Valentine's Day of all days where they dropped a Nintendo Direct announcing that game. So I had to I was in trouble, so I had to focus on Zelda. Then, rather than taking my girlfriend out, which you know,
I mean,
you got to do what you got to do.
In circumstances like that, I'm sorry, Zelda comes first.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. We've got. It's interesting that we've got quite a stacked second half of this year when it comes to Zelda stuff. At least, you know, in terms of the things that we'd be interested in. Because for me and you at least. Anything Zelda is incredibly exciting. You know, we've talked before. We've got the Lego Deku Tree set coming out quite soon. We've got Masterworks, which will hopefully give us a little bit more information on Tears of the Kingdom's lore, which is
we got the soundtrack and the Master Sword replica as well. So just more Zelda. It's nice. You're right, and it's crazy. We're getting so much stuff compared to like the 35th anniversary where GameStop had one poster that you could get.
Yeah.
Right, like that was it or something.
Yeah,
yeah. Do you think we'll get something for the 40th anniversary? Like, I feel like that's a pretty big milestone. And Triforce, I don't know. Maybe we didn't do it for 30.
Maybe I don't know. I would like to say yes, but I think now my expectations for anniversaries are always going to be 0. Because it seems very arbitrary whether Nintendo decide to celebrate them or not. So I don't know, because
there's no pattern to follow.
The 35th. Yeah, exactly. I thought the 35th was going to be big, and they didn't really do anything.
And they did nothing. I don't even think they acknowledged it. Like it wasn't even like the 30th where we got an updated logo of the 25th logo, or did we? I think so, right? Or like it was. I feel like it was acknowledged or something. But like I know 35th nothing, but 35 is a weirder milestone. I feel like a pure flat, round number 40 sounds. I don't know. We'll see. I hope. You know what? Let me not get my expectations up either on that. What year? So that would be 2026, 2 years from now, right? Because wow.
Yeah.
So we're pretty close.
It will come around quick. It will come around quickly, and I wonder what they'll do. But again, I've got no expectations.
Zelda 1 remaster. Let's go!
Imagine.
Imagine Zelda 1 remaster, Breath of the Wild engine, Link. You literally are like you have to play as Green Link, and they like redesign Green Link to be. Oh my god, that sounds so cool. That's not happening.
Yeah, which let's hope Echoes of Wisdom sells well and kind of rekindles their interest in 2D Zelda, because
let's hope. Be honest. Do you think it's gonna do well in terms of like?
I think it will. I think it will outsell Link's Awakening remake, because I think a lot of the discourse around that game was Link's Awakening is a good game. It looks very pretty, but also you're charging full price
in a year.
For what did Link's Awakening get? I want to say it's about 10 mil now.
I don't even think it's at 10 mil yet.
Is it not?
I think it's
really.
I think it's still shy of 10 mil. Yeah, I think so. I'm gonna have to search.
I could see. I don't know. I'm
got
not good
an
at
AI overview
guessing,
telling me it's 6.46 million, so not even.
Wow.
Yeah.
So if Link's Awakening got that, I don't know if I could say 10 mil in the first year. I'd like it to sell that well, but I really don't know. I'm bad at estimating that sort of thing. What do you think? Do you think it'll?
I'm worried. I'm just worried. I'm worried it might not sell well because I was telling you this before, but I guess I never mentioned it like in the pod. But my brother, who is a huge Zelda fan, He played, you know, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. He 100%ed them. He you know, he can beat a Lionel without getting hit once. And I asked him about this game, and he's like, he's not even gonna touch it. He hasn't watched a trailer. He doesn't even care.
Really?
It's not even a blimp on his radar. It doesn't exist.
Did he play Link's Awakening remake?
Yes, and he grew up playing Link's Awakening, and he loves Link's Awakening. Link's Awakening was his Zelda game. Like, it's funny, we all had a Zelda game we were obsessed with. That was his Link's Awakening.
Oh right, okay.
Link's Awakening. No, my bad. A Link to the Past. I'm stupid. A Link to the Past on the Game Boy. My bad. But he did play Link's Awakening.
Oh right.
But a Link to the Past on the Game.
Yeah.
But he did play that. But Link to the Past on the Game Boy, I remember that was like his Zelda game.
Because that's your favorite version of A Link to the Past, right? The Game Boy.
Yeah, because that was the only one I actually played growing up.
I suppose.
And it has young Links, like, you know, ha, you know, instead of nothing. It feels weird. Like,
of course, they added the voices and yeah.
But anyways, my point is, sadly, even someone who loves Zelda to death, they look at this game as just a spin-off, and you know, it kind of. It doesn't worry me, of course, but it's like, damn, you're missing. I'm just like, you're missing out, if anything, because it's gonna be a good game. But I just feel like a lot of people, not only are you not playing as Link, you're playing as Zelda. Oh, the girl game, and some idiots are gonna look at it in that regard, like, okay, it's not superior for that reason. But on top of it, they're like, oh, this is the top-down crappy Zelda game that looks like the Link's Awakening.
I said the
remake,
chibi,
ugly art style. So there's like so many reasons for, like, you know, people who don't see that what we see in Zelda to like just be like, I don't see the point. Yeah, because I mean, with us, we live and breathe Zelda, so it's like, oh, that's the coolest thing ever. But like, for I guess an average Zelda fan, I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, let us know in the comments what your.
Well, I feel like everyone watching us is just as psycho as us. Like,
I was about to put a disclaimer there. Yeah, let us know people that you know that aren't, you know, proper Zelda nerds like us, having lengthy discussions about Zelda games. Yeah, if you know people in your life who are aware of Zelda and maybe played games like Breath of the Wild, but aren't uber nerds like us, let us know what they're kind of feeling about Echoes of Wisdom. Because from what I've seen online, the biggest turn-off for most people is the art style that they've gone for here. And I wonder what's your opinion on it now? We've had a proper look at this game now.
Okay, so
where are you sitting on the art style?
Yeah, this is actually something I was going to mention to you as well. Not specifically the art style, but it kind of relates to it. So the art style, I still hold to what I said before. I think it is a cool third concept for Zelda. Like I said, the experimental art styles are the mainline games. The Toon Link art style is for the travel-based Zelda games. And now the top-down Zelda games can be this new diorama art style. I still think that'd be cool. I hope we get a Minish Cap. I hope we get the Oracles, like you said. I hope they still come out in this art style. I'm fine with it. Yeah, I wouldn't mind if Nintendo gave us a like HD 2D, you know, Dragon Quest remake type, or Octopath Traveler. I guess it's more of a game you can. So it would be cool if Nintendo gave us that instead. But like, I'm happy with this. This to me is a great reimagining of these games. Yeah, Minish Cap looks amazing, but I think it would look better like this, so I wouldn't mind. But again, I'm not saying that this art style is the best. But if this is the new 2D, top-down Zelda art style, hell yeah, that's amazing. But. Big butt, huge, giant,
huge
George,
butt.
Huge butt.
Yeah.
The freaking Instagram filter sucks, man. It's so ugly. Like,
the like tilt shift thing.
I hate it. I so
like
much.
I really like that.
You want to blur on your screen? Why?
Yeah. Because it makes it look like a diorama. It's like tilt shift photography, where it makes everything look really tiny.
I don't like it.
It's never annoyed me. I think, for my money at least, Link's Awakening remake is one of the best looking games on the Switch, and you know this is it looks the same. Yeah, I think I love it. I think because I couldn't see this kind of toy style. I don't know. You see, I
literally saw a video. Yes,
and I'll tone it down a little bit.
No, remove the blur. I literally saw someone do a mod where they removed the blur, and it looked Chef's Kiss, it was beautiful.
You think?
It looked so
Okay.
good. It does not need the blur. The blur is so unnecessary. It adds some kind of depth of field, I agree, but it's so unnecessary.
Yeah.
The game looks very vibrant, beautiful when it's just as is. And I get it. You're right. It does make it seem like you're literally looking at a picture of an actual top-down diorama, but like,
yeah.
I don't want to feel that the entire time I'm playing the game. It kind of gets it literally gets annoying. Like, if anything, that was my main issue with Link's Awakening, because I can look past everything else. I absolutely hate. I can't believe you can. Please put it in the options, please, Nintendo. Like,
they won't.
It's gonna suck. Right? That's
no
gonna suck. But it requires nothing, because a guy removed it with the mod and it was seamless. So it's like, it's literally just like. Yeah,
I bet it is like a screen overlay or something that they won't let you turn off. But yeah, no,
I'm surprised
I don't mind it. I think it kind of.
I wonder
I think
if
it adds to the general the toy vibe of the games, and I think at least because Zelda or Link, they're always central, right? They're always right in the middle of the screen, so I never feel like it gets in the way for me, because anything that you're focusing on will be.
It does. Nope.
When
you first enter like a forest, or first enter something where Link has to be at the bottom of the screen, or the screen is done catching up with you and you're reaching the corner like in a dungeon or something, it can obscure things. I mean, whatever. Oh, you know what? Then please let us know in the comments. I'm surprised. It's like one of the few things we actually completely disagree with, because we usually agree on most things. So yeah, please let us know in the comments which side are you on, because I am genuinely curious. Because for me, not a huge fan, but I will look past it when the game comes out. The game is gonna be so good that it's not gonna be
exactly
an issue.
yeah. Because for me, at least, it just goes with the toy style, and I can't imagine the two being separate. And like I said, I love the toy style. I think Link's Awakening's absolutely gorgeous, and so is this. I do wonder. I think I probably mentioned this in the last podcast as well, but I think for me that the toy art style worked so well for Link's Awakening because of the game's story. You know, it feels like it feels not real, which spoilers. Whereas this is not in a dream, as far as we know. This is an actual adventure in Hyrule. So the decision to reuse the art style is a little bit strange for me, but you know, I'm not complaining, because it looks gorgeous, and you know, I'm not going to be upset looking at a game that looks this good for a long period of time.
And I bet you that's
it's just I do wonder about the reasons for reusing it.
There's no lower reason. Yeah. There's probably just like, it looks nice, we've done it before, let's just use it. I can assure you that's it. Yeah. I bet you even, let's be real, even in Link's Awakening, that's not the reason. They were, like, I bet you they were just trying to redo the chibi art style and they looked like toys. So they, you know, like what I told you about the whole Pokemon concept. I bet you that is the true inspiration. But wait, is Grezzo confirmed now behind us? It's clearly Grezzo,
I still don't know if it's been explicitly said that it's Grezzo, but like, it's Grezzo, right?
Because I mean, it's their. You could tell it's just like that's their. This is what Nintendo has them work on. These kind of games.
Yeah. So. What, you having a cheeky Google now?
Yeah, literally. But for some reason, their most recent game is still just Jet Dragon. So I guess they haven't updated it yet. Maybe they're waiting for the release or something. I'm also checking their blog, but probably not. Yeah. We'll figure out when the game comes out. It doesn't really matter. That didn't change anything, right? It
exactly. Yeah. But it definitely feels like Grezzo. But let us know where you stand on the great, not just the art style debate, but specifically the tilt shift blur debate. Yeah, because interesting. But I don't know. Is there anything else that you wanted to cover with?
I'm trying to think.
Wisdom's second trailer.
Is there anything we missed? So we talked about, obviously we got Horus's big map, travel points. Doesn't mean anything. That's been in every Zelda game. I thought that was interesting that they went out of their way to mention travel points. Like, we've never had that before.
Considering they work like, like bird statues in A Link Between Worlds sort of thing.
Yeah, but
they go up and activate them, and then
do you have anything to say about their design? They do look a bit weird. I mean, it doesn't look like...
other than they look weird. So they're very strange. They're kind of three kind of cones, like stone cones. Very strange. the only thing we can kind of glean from how they look is that they're covered in symbols, like a kind of dot dash, sort of Morse code-ish language, which we know is related to the first dungeon where Zelda was imprisoned by Ganon. The writing, the kind of dot dot dash thing, that's all over the walls there. So it seems to be there's some connection between that place and these waypoints, but other than that, we don't know anything about them. But yeah, very, very strange design for them there. And I'm sure there will be a reason that they do look that way, but we just don't know what it is yet.
Yeah. And yeah, clearly there's some ancient like race that we're going to figure out, whether it's a familiar one or a completely new one they're going to make up. I feel like there's going to be some...
Probably some, the second
right?
one.
There's something beyond Hyrule in this that is helping her out. So you don't believe even Bind is purely off of Tri's power and like the power of wisdom or the Triforce or something? You believe that could be related to Zonai or her hood, or it has other
No, I think Bind...
Uh-huh.
Except for the green color that they've gone for, which is very ultra.
The green, that's what's throwing me off. Go on.
Right, because other than that, Bind is definitely Tri. Like the Bind icon on the HUD is just a picture of Tri. When you use Bind, Tri kind of flies over towards the object and sticks with it while it's bound to Zelda's movement. So it's definitely something Tri's doing. But yeah, Tri as a whole, we don't know anything about it. You know, obviously there seems to be an implicit connection to the Triforce of Wisdom, which you know would make complete sense, but we don't know that for sure.
But it has to. It just has to. You wouldn't call the game Echoes of Wisdom, give her the Echo power, and then be like, it has nothing to do with wisdom, but the game, you know what I mean?
And have a companion called Tri, who is followed by golden triangles. Right. Yeah. There's definitely something Triforcey going on there, but
but it does raise questions with the hood and the green. The green color to me did throw me off a lot. Like, why not gold? Why green? Actually,
yeah, right.
Why do you want to make it look like Ultra Hand? Yeah. So hopefully there's a lore reason. Hopefully.
We'll see. We will see on that.
What if the reason is the gold looks too similar to objects, so we had to make it green because most objects are green. I don't know. Like the reason why Link's blue. Right, ever since you told me that, I'm always like, that is hilarious. That is so funny.
Oh, what? Just because there was lots of grass in Breath of the Wild, they're like, we'll make it blue. Yeah.
So sometimes the design choice could be that simple. Like we are all lore and we're trying to craft in theory. Sometimes too much green. There you go.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Yeah, no more. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know.
I guess
sorry, what were we saying?
No, I was gonna say, I guess that covers everything in terms of the game.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is that if there's anything else you think that's worth mentioning, then we'll cover it. But
what would you say you're most excited for? I guess what got you the most hyped for a certain area, a certain thing you want to do? Like, what are you so excited to?
I wouldn't say one area specifically, but the world itself is definitely
just the idea of
I'm most
a new Hyrule to explore.
New Hyrule to explore. With quests
I'm just giddy
and new
thinking
characters and like I said, I do love the mechanics. They seem really, really creative, really inventive, and this is a Nintendo game, and it's a Nintendo flagship like Zelda. Even though it's using all these crazy ideas, it's gonna run amazingly. Everything's gonna just work. So I'm very excited for that, but more than anything else, just exploring the world and doing quests and. That's absolutely what I'm most excited for. What about you?
For me, and it's just more so like the idea of like we truly have a fully fledged top-down new Zelda game on the Switch. Like, to me, that just sounds so cool because you don't know how many times I booted up Link's Awakening, wanting to convince myself that that there's something more to it. You know what I mean? But I already beat it. I already seen everything there is to be seen. And it's like you said, it's a $60 game that was a Game Boy game that didn't even cost $60 when it came out. It's a small game.
Yep.
So like knowing this is truly the real deal is just, it's amazing. I'm so hyped. Like I've been, it's so weird because like, I know Tears of the Kingdom, it's only been out for a year and Tears of the Kingdom was supposed to keep us busy for years to come. But it's like, no, because it was so similar to Breath of the Wild, we're ready to move on. And finally we're getting something that really feels like that breath of fresh air that the series needed. And Yeah, it's so exciting, and I really do hope it sells well. Like more than just the fact that if we get more 2D Zelda games, I want Nintendo to think that like they need to make a Zelda game for the mainstream titles. You know what I mean? Like give us a 3D Zelda game. Yeah.
Well, let's hope this game does well. Yeah, let's hope it does well, and then if it does, it won't be the last time we see Zelda in the driver's seat, which is awesome. But yeah, let us know in the comments what you're most excited for about Echoes of Wisdom. Is it the world? Is it the puzzles? Is it the new game?
The fashion?
Mechanics? Yeah,
the new outfits.
The fashion.
I mean, I'll be honest.
That's huge. That's
huge.
That
is huge. Like so huge.
Yeah.
I was pretty disappointed when the Princess Peach game they had. It's hilarious because. Like I said, Nintendo's hiding stuff. Usually they don't reveal everything. Well, the Princess Peach game, they revealed all the outfits in the game, and there was literally no other outfits in the actual game.
Really?
They showed everything from the trailer. So I'm excited. And we only saw 2 outfits. There's no way that was everything. So
that's it. There's just a Gerudo outfit and a Rider's outfit. That's it. No more. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, let us know in the comments what you're most excited for. And yeah, I guess we'll see you soon for I mean, it won't be long before we can just cover Echoes of Wisdom on this channel, and the game will be in our hands, which is just wild to say. And yeah, I can't wait. But yeah, thank you so much for watching or listening to this episode. I guess we'll see you next time.
Peace, guys.